Watching one of my friends give hand-me-down clothes to an underclassman who could not afford new clothes or did not own any clothes that fit was an eye-opener to me. Could there possibly be someone in our school that is considered to be living in poverty, so poor that they could not even afford a pair of clothes that fit? 1 out of 7 people in the United States of America are living in poverty, according to an article titled Poverty in the U.S. on nclej.org, posted in September 2013. It is important to have a clear understanding of the wealth in our country today. I will explain to you the different statistics and numbers between the 3 wealth classes in our country: poverty, the middle class, and the upper class. Poverty has been a huge problem in our country since the beginning of the century. According to an article, Poverty in the U.S. on nclej.org, posted in September 2013, 1 out of 16 people in the U.S. are in deep poverty. Deep poverty is people with the income of 50% below the poverty line. People usually in poverty are children, people with disabilities, and female-headed families. Even though it seems like the government could care less about people in poverty, the U.S. government tries to prevent poverty by using food stamps, Social Security, and EITC. The government hopes that these programs will eventually bump some people up into the middle class. The middle class is the largest class, while defining America's wealth. According to the article, What is Middle Class Anyways?, found on money.cnn.com, retrieved October 23, 2015, 4 different ways to define middle class is income, consumption, aspiration, and demographics. While defining income, it's Pew's Research Center's definition is between $46,960 to $140,900 as an annual salary. Consumption is how much you spend a year, spending between $38,200 to $49,900 a year. For example, that would be food, transportation, entertainment, and housing. Aspiration is home ownership, car, family, vacation, health, and retirement security, and also a college education. Demographics is 40 to 61 years old, finishing high school, and college puts you in the middle class. 62 plus years old and finishing high school, but not necessarily college, will put you in the middle class also. Even though it is the largest class, it is slowly shrinking. Since the middle class's income is either staying neutral or declining, we might as well talk about the rich, since the rich keep getting richer. The upper class is the smallest, making up 1 to 5% of the entire American population. According to the article, Which Income Class Are You In?, on Investopedia.com from September 23, 2012, there are 2 different types of situations while talking about the upper class. They inherited wealth from previous generations, or they worked hard to earn their wealth. Most people do not consider themselves as upper-class Americans. Here is the America's wealth. These are some pictures of people in poverty. If you are in poverty, you could be standing in line to get food, or you could even be living underneath of bridges. And this is an example of a homeless person living in poverty. Here are some pictures of the people living in middle class. Middle class is just sitting down, being able to afford supper and sitting around and eating. If you're in the middle class, you can usually afford to go to the movie theaters, go shopping. You have extra spending money like that. Here's an example of a middle-class American family standing in front of their home. And then here are pictures of people living in the upper class. If you live in the upper class, you can drive Ferraris and all those expensive cars. You typically live in a mansion or a bigger home if you are in the upper class in America. And a lot of upper people class own yachts, so there's that. I hope you have a clear understanding of the wealth in our country today, and I hope I made clear the difference between poverty, the middle class, and the upper class. Incomes have a tendency to rise and fall, so don't panic too much about what class you may be in or what class you think you want to be in the future. I forgot to add in the sick leave the bonuses, overtime, and the short hours people work due to their children. Incomes are not steady. You may fluctuate throughout the wealth scale.